Well?
First he hid in that ghastly Tower of the Wolf. Now, I hear the High King has fled the city.
That can't be true. High King Svargrim would never abandon us. Would he?
We're done. The Grey Host has found a foothold. Now the city is lost.
Not yet, it isn't. On your feet, Sorthane. We have work to do.
Yes, Princess Svana. I apologize for that display. Tell the princess... Tell her it won't happen again. You need to understand. I pledged my sword and my soul to the High King. We all did. And he betrayed us. Nothing good, I'm sure. The Grey Host appeared out of nowhere and cut down my soldiers. Only a handful were able to escape before they sealed the gates. Svargrim made us fortify the entryways. The bastard knew he'd lock us out! Not that I can think of. But what does it matter? Svargrim brought the Grey Host down upon us. He's bringing a Harrow Storm. We need to evacuate the city while there's still time. Some of us will survive if we flee now!
That's unacceptable, Sorthane. If we can't get the sacred oil to make more elixir, then we have to stop the Harrow Storm.
Princess, we've kept watch. There aren't any witch pikes around the city.
And you missed something. They needed the witch pikes for every other Harrow Storm they summoned.
Of course. Blackreach. The Grey Host must have gained access to the temple from beneath the city.
They could easily hide the witch pikes underneath our feet.
We know the Grey Host has been using Blackreach to clandestinely move around Western Skyrim. Why not launch their attacks from there?
Then we're going back to Blackreach. If the witch pikes are there, we'll destroy them.
Yorin sent me with a warning for Solitude. Now I'm about to march into the starless depths of Blackreach to try to avert a massacre. How do I keep getting myself into these kinds of situations? I thought you knew me better than that. Taking on the impossible challenge, beating the unbeatable foe. This is what I'm good at. So yes, I do have to do this. And we're going to win. We have to. Svargrim. To cast his lot with the Grey Host, become a vampire, threaten his own people with the Harrow Storm. It's madness. One thing's for certain. We have to stop him. One step at a time. First, we make our way down into Blackreach. Then we find the ritual site. It must be right beneath the city. We smash witch pikes and kill as many Grey Host bastards as possible. After that, we pray to Kyne and hope for the best.
As a junior member of House Ravenwatch, I never expected to be in the thick of things like this. I have to say, it's a tad overwhelming. Am I looking forward to going back to where Singolis experimented on me? Not even remotely. But I want to see this through to the end. I need to. The Grey Host can't summon the Harrow Storm without performing their ritual. And we know that requires witch pikes, so there's that. Plus the usual assortment of coven witches, vampires, and werewolves, I suppose. Nothing we can't handle, right? I had hoped to secure the sacred oil, and make enough elixir to distribute throughout the city. But we're running out of time. Our best bet now is to find the ritual site beneath Solitude, and stop the Harrow Storm before it's unleashed. You're absolutely right. Especially after we found evidence of undermining down there. All I can say is that we were focused on other things. Let's go and save the city now, all right?
My father. A vampire. He sat on his throne, pretended to mourn for my mother, and said he had a plan. But all the while he was preparing the city for the Grey Host. He's worse than a monster. He's a traitor and a liar. I know. It's just... Look, we were never close. Not really. But he's my father. My king. What about you? Could you do it? Could you confront and maybe even kill one of your parents? Such confidence. As sharp and as cold as my dagger's blade. Lives hang in the balance. But I'm conflicted about committing patricide. I'm going to do whatever I can to stop the Harrow Storm and save Solitude and its people. After that, we decide what needs to be done about Svargrim. It must be right beneath our feet, or close to it. From what we've seen, the Witch Pikes need to be in close proximity to the locations where the Harrow Storms strike. Of course, finding our way underground, it won't be easy.
Please, can anybody help us?
Where's that caravan? It should have arrived by now.
Damn, another dead soldier and no sign of our supplies.
That's ominous. And, unless I miss my guess, it's directly under Solitude. That's our target. The ritual site must be somewhere inside that horrid structure. I scouted the area before you arrived. It's full of Grey Host forces. And from what I could tell, Svagrim and Rada al-Saran are both inside. Not so fast. If we rush down as a group, they'll be on us like a snow bear on a horker. You go ahead. Try to cross the bridge to the main entrance. It's well guarded, but you're more than capable. Or you could try the alternative. There's a sluice gate in the outer courtyard, tucked away against the keep's eastern wall. The few patrols in that area can be avoided if you're stealthy. Opening the gate requires a key, but that should be simple enough to find. You know your strengths and weaknesses better than I do. Play to those. But whichever path you decide, move quickly. We need to find the ritual site and deal with the witch pikes before they unleash the Harrowstorm on the city. Cross the bridge, or use the sluice gate to get into the inner courtyard. Then find the keep's side entrance, east of the main stairs. I'll stay with Svanna and Finn. Make sure they don't get themselves killed. We'll meet you inside as soon as we can. That's a good question. I didn't see anything when I scouted the exterior, so the witch pikes must be somewhere inside the keep. I expect that once we find Svargrim and Rada al-Saran, we'll also find the ritual site. Nice of you to join us.
I don't understand. What am I supposed to do with these flasks?
If we run into trouble, throw one of them at the source. Then get out of the way.
And find the ritual site. We need to disrupt it.
Split up? I suppose that makes sense. I'll go with our friend here. This looks important. This book? I recognize the handwriting. It's Singalis'. It's more of his research. Harrowstorms, witch pikes, netherroot brew. How it all works together for the benefit of the Grey Host. This might be something. I just need to skim through these assumptions and incantations. What's this? Instructions on the placement of runes throughout Greymore. All the way to... My gods! This entire tower! It's a witch pike! The magic I sensed earlier. It was familiar because it's the same magic used in the Harrowstorm rituals. Don't you see? This entire keep is the ritual site. They turned the tower into a witch pike. But at the scale, it's inconceivable. I'm not sure we can destroy this tower. We need to keep going. Find a way to disrupt the ritual. But I think I understand what they're doing. Singalis found a way to release the Grey Host from Coldharbour by using the Harrowstorms. The Harrowstorms steal life energy, and use it to pull the souls of the Grey Host out of Coldharbour and into the Grey Reliquaries. It's quite ingenious. How they reincorporate, though. It has something to do with those stone husks, I think. Oh, most certainly. Perhaps even a way to reverse the effects of the Harrowstorms and restore the Harrowed. If the notes are complete, it would just require study, experimentation, and time. Unfortunately, we lack all three of those at the moment. Lyris, Svanna, I think this entire tower functions as a witch pike.
What? Fen, how is that even possible?
The energy! It burns!
That's my father! This way!
Pain is part of the process, Svargrim.
It's exquisite! My master.
Once you are attuned to Greymore, the storm will be yours to command. Rise, Svargrim, and unleash my storm upon Solitude. Then the last of the Grey Host shall be reborn.
The Ashen Lord. He turned Svargrim into the heart of his Hero Storm.
They're moving higher up the tower. We need to follow them!
I will go this way.
Look, a Grey Reliquary. It's massive. Just like the storm they planned to unleash on the city. These corridors lead upward. They should take us to Svargrim and Rada al-Salam.
Surely we could conjure the Harrow storms without those filthy reachmen.
We found them!
Good. This whole place, the Grey Host is preparing to go to war.
And so the thorns arrive once more to prick my thumbs.
A barrier.
And Rada al-Saran?
Your persistence begins to annoy me, mortal. You killed my beloved brother and sister, Singalis and Ulfra. I freed them, and you sent them back. Back to the hated Molag Bal. I will see you suffer for that transgression. As much as it would please me to flay the flesh from your bones, I have more pressing matters to attend to. But know this, as I felt each death, you shall feel it when the Harrow Storm takes every life in Solitude. You shall feel it when you fail. Bold words, but futile. Svargrim rises, and the Harrow Storm with him. Once the attunement is finished, they will be unstoppable.
What happened? What did that damn vampire do?
He's merging the power flowing through the keep with Svargrim, giving him control of the Harrow Storm.
Then you must undo it. I'll stay and help. Leaders, you and our friend keep going up and find my father.
They're waking up. Get ready to fight. Keep moving. Don't let them surround us. Come on, we're nearly through. Dead
We
end.
weren't able to stop
Damn.
the attunement spell. It's just getting stronger.
A tower. It must lead to the upper levels. I need time to get that door open.
Everyone, protect Fen! Good job. Through the door and to the upper levels now. Hurry!
Now, we just... The whole keep. The shaking is getting worse.
Damn magic! Give me something to hit!
The magic. It's Al Saran. The attunement is almost complete.
The attunement is complete, Svargrim. You and Greymoor Keep are one.
So high up, but still far beneath the ground. How long has my father been planning this?
Hold, friends! We followed the booming voices.
Now
Where's
ascend to
Svargrim?
your Tower of the Wolf and
My
unleash
father's
my most
ascended into
potent
solitude.
Herald Storm.
But rather Al
The
Saran,
Grey
I
Host
think
is
he's leaving.
counting on you,
Interesting.
little king.
Lyris assumed the Grey Host was preparing to attack, but it's just as possible they're relocating their forces.
We'll figure that out later, after we stop my father. This place is connected to
Fair
Castle
enough.
Dower.
Friend, lead
How
the way.
long has my father been planning this?
Oh my.
What is it now, Fen?
Oh, nothing. Just don't look down. These tunnels look freshly dug. The Grey Host has certainly been busy. Harrow Fiends! Is that what became of the Herald Svargrim brought to Castle Dower?
Up ahead. That's the temple's undercroft.
Close to the surface.
Is that Princess Svana?
Harrowstorm. It's begun.
Look, above the Tower of the Wolf. The storm's only partially formed.
My father's up there. Open the gates and let's go.
The Harrowfiend's below the temple. If they escape into the streets...
You and I will keep that from happening. Take the princess and deal with Svargrim, partner.
Yes. It's the only option. Let's go. I'm with you, my friend. Up the stairs. We need to get up the ramp and onto the walls. That's our way to the Tower of the Wolf. I feared no one would come!
Come to bear witness to my ascension. Rada al-Saram has given me power beyond anything you can imagine. Behold!
was for Mother. For Solitude. And for every soul in Skyrim. Your ambition, your greed, look what it led to! We need to hurry. My father betrayed everything to aid the Grey Host. With his death, Solitude is saved. It's done. We killed my father and ended the Herostorm. The city still stands. Skyrim still stands. Although the Tower of the Wolf may have been damaged beyond repair. No, of course not. My father was the High King of Western Skyrim. I always thought he had the best interests of our holds and our people in his heart. But there was a darkness there. Jealousy, bitterness. He wanted to control all of Skyrim. For Svargrim, yes, I think it was. As for Rada al-Saran and the Grey Host, I am not entirely sure what they're after. Enough of this. I need to get to work. With my father gone, someone has to pick up the pieces and restore the holds. First, on behalf of Western Skyrim, take this with my thanks. We would have been lost without you. Then, rest. Check on our friends. Injuries must be tended to, buildings repaired. Other wounds will take longer. We'll have more to do soon enough. Whatever Rada al-Saran and the Grey Host were planning, I think the worst is behind us as far as Western Skyrim is concerned. With Svargrim dead, their grip on the holds comes to an end. Not officially. At least I don't think so. I feel like the whole world's crumbling around me. But the city's still standing, so that's something. I'm more worried about our friends. We left Lyris and Fen to hold of a horde of Harrow fiends. Hopefully they were able to hold the courtyard and keep those monsters out of the city. You go on ahead and check on them. I need to collect myself. Solitude needs Princess Svanna now. And I'm not quite ready to be her. Thank you. Help them and anyone else as best you can. I'll do the same. Once you're done with them, I'll find you and we can figure out what to do next. Gods, I hope so. Haven't we dealt with enough already? I need to see what happened firsthand. All the suffering and pain my father caused. I can't undo it. But I can make amends. Or at least try to.
Tell me truthfully, Lyris. How much of this blood is mine?
Not enough to be worried about.
You did it. I shouldn't be surprised. But things were looking rather bleak before the clouds parted. We held the gate as long as we could. But the Harrow fiends were a flood of claws and teeth. Once they burst through, Lyris cleaved through them like a scythe through wheat. But even she couldn't stem the tide. I'm not really sure. I kind of went wild. Let out my inner beast, as it were. I was rending and slashing. Then Lyris whacked me with the flat of her blade. At least that's the last thing I remember. Not my finest hour, but we survived. The elixir is my next priority, of course. As long as the Harrow Storms are still a threat, we need a defense against them. After that, I want to examine the records we took from Greymoor Keep. I still think there's a cure for the Herod in there. Sadly, I don't think there's any hope for them. Their life energy was sucked dry, turning them into feral beasts. Restoring them is beyond my capabilities, I'm afraid. At least with the Herod, they're not so far gone as to be a lost cause. As soon as we produce enough of it, yes. We saw how it protected Svanna. Now, where did I put my flask?
So, is it over? What happened to Svargrim? And where's Svanna? A parent's betrayal cuts deeper than a sword. But Svanna's strong. Stronger than she's been given credit for. And Solitude's going to need that strength in the coming days. If you told me the tavern rat we met at the Lonely Troll would become my choice to lead this land, I'd have called you mad. Then again, my king's a skald, so what do I know? Come on, there's probably something productive we should be doing. Find out if everyone in the Hall of the Dead is all right. I'll make sure Castle Dour is secured. We did our best to hold the Harrow Fiends inside Castle Dour, but nothing short of stone walls were going to keep those monsters from pushing through. Seemed like everyone I killed was replaced by 2 more. Almost didn't. We were nearly overrun before Fen went wild. I've never seen him like that, snarling and showing what a true vampire can do. Took the Harrow Fiends by surprise and we routed them. I did have to thwack him to clear his head, though.
I'm glad you
There
put an
are
end
the
to this
Nord,
hound
who
business.
have no fears of
All
victory
Bosmer are
of
in
the
your
Reach.
debt.
Ha! Good to see you aren't raising mugs with Ismir just yet.
We saw the storm break, but we heard nothing since you departed from Blackreach.
I regret we didn't throw a parade to welcome you back, but I'll cheer enough for 100 souls if you tell me you put that backbiter of a High King to the sword. But what of Svanna? Is she? That's good, but a daughter shouldn't have to kill her own father. Svanna has my support, for whatever that's worth. She's going to need all the help she can get in the days to come. Not until we hold a moot to support her claim, and we need more than a single Jarl for that to occur. If Svanna proves herself as the acting Jarl, they might look past her father's failings and make her the queen, eventually. We can settle the matter of the crown when there's kingdom enough to rule. What remains of the holds are still ravaged by the Harrow Storms, and I doubt we've seen the last of the Grey Host, for that matter. None good, but none bad either. My wife knows better than anyone how to care for our people. I trust she and my thanes protect and care for Morthal in my absence.
We seem to have survived, thank the gods. I thought for certain we were all about to witness the end of the world. No thanks to Svargrim, damn his eyes. After you and the princess went off to Blackreach, I gathered whoever we could, and made our stand here in the Hall of the Dead. I'm just glad we don't have to be permanent residents. Far fewer than I feared when the storm began. Thanks to you and the princess. With the storm over and the Grey Host driven from Castle Dour, my soldiers will get the city back into shape. As long as no one else attacks us in the meantime.
They're here! They're at the gates!
The Grey Host? I thought we were done with them for now.
Not the Grey Host! The Skald King with an army from the east!
What treachery is this?
To the gates. We'll give the Skull King a proper welcome, one way or another.
I have a unique opportunity for scholastic research today. It'll keep you warm.
Another day, another infernal harrow storm.
Stand down, you idiots! We come in peace.
Partner, could really use your knack for diplomacy right now. Speak to the Skald King before we start a war.
Sure, save me from fools and prophets. Will no one properly greet a weary traveler?
I know that there's little love between East and West, but now's not the time to be picking a fight. Lyris's report on the rise of Greyhost had my father preparing for the worst. When we hadn't received word for some time, he decided to intercede. Svargrim. It's hard to believe the rumors were true. I didn't know him well, but I can't understand how anyone could throw away everything for the promise of power. What's immortality worth if there's nothing you hold dear? You'd have to ask him. As far as I can tell, the Western holds are in chaos. They could use a king who cares for his fellow Nords, but if the welcome we've received here is any indication, Solitude won't see it that way.
Oh, familiar face. Maybe you can talk some sense into these Western milk drinkers. We're not a damn invasion. We're here to help. Do you know what's going on? So the rumors are true? Svargrim joined the Grey Host? I knew he had ambitions, but to throw away his humanity like that, it's inconceivable. Svargrim once told me that he would die before welcoming me to Solitude. I suppose he was right. That's why I sent Lyris here in the first place. I'm not the king of these holds, though. I can't do anything if they refuse my help. Svargrim despised me. He would never accept my aid. But Svanna... here she comes now. Let's see what she has to say.
We have no need of help that involves welcoming your soldiers within our walls.
My walls, Jarl. My father may have been willing to slap aside the helping hand, but I'm not. Permit me a word with your envoy, Skald King. Thank you. For holding the line, I mean. I'm ready to do what I should have done a long time ago. To do what my father never could. I'll speak with the Skald King. There's one more thing I'd like you to do while I entertain our guests. We saved Solitude, but our war with the Grey Host is far from over. We need Fenn's elixir more than ever. With that, and King Yoren's help, we might just push these monsters back into their grave for good. Check on Fenn's progress, please. That depends on Fenn. If there's anything standing in his way, let me know, and I'll do everything in my power to get him what he needs. Fenn is with Old Mjolnir at the Mages Guild. When you're finished with him, join me in the courtyard of the Blue Palace. I'm going to hold a moment of remembrance for this city. We all need a moment to mourn what we lost. I'm going to invite the Skald King to join us. If the people of Solitude see him bow his head along with the rest of us, they may not care about the divide between the East and the West.
What do you want?
Help me. I have nothing.
genius. A rare thing to find an elf with the makings of a clever woman.
Despite what my kin might proclaim, it's not all in the blood. Ah, good. We've made a breakthrough. I was just discussing a theory with Mjolnir, and it seems like we're very close to turning this elixir into a true restorative. A cure. Singolis's research on the Netherroot showed me just how it weakens the connection between a body and soul. Thus far, I've been able to inure a person to the root, but now I'm certain I can use that knowledge to heal those weakened bonds. Well, it is just a theory at this point. There's a lot more testing and experimentation to be done before we can produce a viable antidote. Weeks, optimistically? I know. We can't simply put things on hold. Mjolnir and I have a batch brewing right now, and materials to keep producing for another day. Ingert's promised us a steady supply of Arcase oil, but that's not our limiting factor. We know enough about Singolis's refinement processes to replicate his methods, but we still need a source of Netherroot to do so. Tell Svanna that if she can keep us supplied, we can produce enough elixir for all the holds in a matter of weeks. We can ransack Greyhost stockpiles, or mount an expedition into Blackreach. Otherwise, it would take decades of work to produce a proper crop. After we get the elixir squared away, we'll turn our attention to curing the Herald. Indeed. As I surmised, the Grey Reliquaries contained the remains of ancient Greyhost warriors. They served as a connection to the souls trapped in Cold Harbor. Using the energy from the Harrowstorms, the souls were pulled into the stone husks. I believe the stone husks are incubators of a sort. The physical forms of the Grey Host are reincorporated within the stone vessels, through a mix of Singolis's alchemy and sorcery, and the magic of the Icereach witches. When whole, they burst free.
Your timing is impeccable.
I was hoping you'd return before we began. Tell me you've got good news. I'll feel a lot better delivering a speech about healing and hope, knowing that we're on the road to recovery. What did Fen have to say about the elixir? Not the best news, but I'll take it. So long as we have enough to protect our soldiers, we have a fighting chance against the Grey Host. I'll go to the Undergrove myself, if that's what it takes. Now that would be cause for celebration. If he can really bring back even a fraction of those we lost to the Harrowstorms, I'm willing to try. That's all I needed to hear. We should begin the ceremony before the crowd grows more restless. Nothing fancy, just a traditional Nordwake. To mourn and celebrate those we've lost, and cherish the lives we still have. I'd like you to join us. None of us would be here to sing dirges for the dead or celebrate the living if not for you. I certainly wouldn't be here, ready to lead my hold. You've supported me since I started down this path. I'm honored to have you here at the end. Sons and daughters of Skyrim, we have the honor today of remembering the dead.
Honor to the fallen!
Sons and daughters of Skyrim, our trials were fierce. But we are still here.
We stand and we remain.
Now, we raise our voices to tell Sovngarde of the coming of the worthy dead, and to tell the world that the Nords are still here. We are still standing!
The fallen now march home to hallowed halls, to join our ancestors in boundless drink and song and brawls. Let's sound the horns, let peal the bells, let loose the ancient hymn. We will remain until time ends, we children of Skyrim.
What do you want?
Be off, Reeker. Ard Kaddock refuses to see you. Now go, before I gut you.
The Ard needs to hear what I have to say, my friend. It is imperative that we speak. Well, good to see you, my friend. I could use an ally in this desolate place. The Grey Host has turned his attention upon the Reach, but the local ruler refuses my help. This so-called despot of Markarth thinks walls and sentries will hold back their fury. Ard Kaddock. He rules the Reach from Understone Keep in Markarth. I've come to offer my help against the Grey Host, but he has turned me away time and time again. Meanwhile, even here, in the shadow of the city, the Grey Host plots and conspires. It's an alliance of vampires, witches, and werewolves bent on slaughter and destruction. To protect the Reach, I need to learn why the Grey Host has come here, and I need to secure the cooperation of Ard Kaddock. Would you be willing to help me? With your help, we may save the Reach yet. While I continue to exert diplomatic pressure, I need you to find information the Ard will consider valuable. Something concerning the rebels that plague his rule, perhaps. Start by talking to the Sentry. Reach folk deal in bargains. They respect strength and skill, and they believe in rewarding favors. If we can bring something important to the Ard while demonstrating these qualities, I think he'll agree to hear us out. If we're to stop the Grey Host and help the Reach, we don't have a choice. At the very least, we need his resources and support. In my time here, I have heard about these rebels, but I'm not sure the extent of their rebellion. See what you can learn. Remember, remain respectful but wary when dealing with Reach folk. They don't suffer long speeches, not even short ones. Keep your conversation with the Sentry brief and to the point. Once you find something, meet me in Markarth at Understone Keep.
Didn't you hear? You and that fancy bastard aren't welcome here. Get, or I'll make a scarf out of your guts! We know all about the Blood Drinkers and the Beast Folk. We were dealing with them just fine before Ard Kaddock called us back to Markarth. The witch rebels are a bigger threat, along with outsiders who try to get into our business. Some wilder witch has been stirring up the clans to the east of Markarth, making trouble for Ard Kaddock. But we'll have her head on a pike soon enough. Look, if you want to see the Ard, then bring news he doesn't know. Something about the rebels.
Do you know how long I've been looking for you? Do you know how long I've been looking for you?
How can I help you?
Do you know how long I've been looking for you?
No one keeps...
Do you know how long I've been looking for you?
Not the effect I was looking for.
Do you know how long I've been looking for you?
What?
witch rebels are as bad as the damn vampires. Get away from me, you reeker. You think a Reach warrior with only one good leg can't cut you? Well, think again. The Grey Host? Does it look like I've been bitten or clawed? It's the damn witch rebels. And they can't tell a Reach folk from a monster any better than you can. They thought I was one of those invaders. Spirits, take the lot of them. Aye, like a pack of wild dogs they were. Kept shouting, Arana, Arana, as they bore down on me. I took an arrow in the leg before they listened to me. Before they decided I wasn't an invader. I think Arana spoke to me. I think she was their leader. No, like ghosts these rebels are. I plan to return to Markarth and petition the Ard to let me take a war party out to find them. They must be hiding in the eastern foothills. I don't care if they are fighting the Grey Host. They're mine.
Stay here as long as you like. I'm done waiting for Ardkadek to muster the clans.
Are you now? And what do you plan to do about it? Join those rebels? You wouldn't have the first clue about how to find them.
That's where you're wrong. Connell says they're gathering in the eastern foothills.
Well, then your head can wind up on a pike with the rest of them, you damn fool.
None of these weak strangers could face a true Reach challenge.
Well?
Yeah, my friend. Was your hunt successful? You couldn't have timed your arrival any better. Ardkadek holds court as we speak. We'll never have a better chance to gain an audience with him. Did your investigation uncover anything we can use? What did you learn? Orana? I have heard that name during my time here. Did you happen to learn what these rebels are rebelling against? Flee the city? With a Grey host prowling the countryside? Well, that's 3 valuable pieces of information. I want you to represent me before Ardkadek. Explain what you learned and convince him to finally agree to meet with me. Speak with the Ard Sentry. You'll need to convince her to gain an audience with Kadek. I think the information you uncovered about the rebels will be enough to interest the despot of Markarth, but you can never be too certain with Reach folk. I'm lucky to have made it this far into the city. Kadek and his entourage have little patience for a noble such as myself, especially a noble from a land they consider to be the home of their enemy. Now, this task is better in your hands. I shall wait around here and continue to discreetly learn what I can about the Reach and its people. I also want to think about Orana and her rebels. Maybe there's a way to add them to our arsenal. Go. I'll be here when you get back.
You again? You dare to disgrace Understone Keep with your presence, outsider? That takes guts, I'll give you that. What's your business in the Ard's Keep? Do you now? And you want to share that information with Ardkadek? You're certainly full of surprises, outsider. All right, I'll allow you to approach the throne, if your courage holds out. Fair warning, the Ard's in a foul temper today. Not yet you don't, but you will. Ardkadek's as likely to remove your head from your shoulders as listen to you, so talk fast, outsider. And remember, the Ard has no patience for fools or flatterers. Keep that in mind.
What fool do I have to behead for letting you in here? You're not of the Reach or the clans. You've either got the sense of a goat or the heart of a saber cat, and I'm eager to find out which. Now, speak plainly. What brings you to the despot of Markarth? The fancy elf, who won't take no for an answer, eh? Yeah, he should have made this offer earlier. News concerning the rebels is a beast worth skinning. Tell me something I don't know, and won't have you fed to my hunting dogs. Spies in my city. Well, that would explain some things, but that and a vague location aren't enough to get me to sit down and drink with a high elf. What else have you got? And remember, my patience is wearing thin. Arana. I know that name. She's a honey-tongued fanatic who refused to bury her sword when I forged a peace with the Grey Host. She's slippery, eh? But I didn't realize she led the rebels. Sniffing out a Reach witch. That commands respect. For now. Aye, they agreed to spare the city while they look for some ancient relic. Dwarven, I suspect. They can have it. Verandis wants to meet? Then talk to my advisor, Lady Belain. Track down Arana for her, and I'll listen to every word he has to say.
I couldn't help but overhear Ard Kadoc's voice. It carries. Now tell me about the leader of the witch rebels. The name you provided? Arana, I believe you said? Ah, therein lies the problem. Reach witches are experts at losing themselves in the many caves and copses that decorate the landscape. It's like finding a tooth in a hen's beak. Most witches give deference to the Ard. Arana is a troublemaker. Actually, that task falls to you. A favor for a favor, yes. That's how business works here. Locate the rebels, find Arana, and urge her to stop meddling in Markarth's affairs. Do that, and you shall earn a place for you and your count in the Reach. That look on your face. I know curiosity when I see it. Very well. I can spare a few more moments before sending you off on your task. What does the outsider in Ard Kadoc's court wish to know? What is any rebellion all about? Malcontents chafing against the established order, stirring up trouble. They're a nuisance, nothing more. It's a matter of timing. Since the arrival of the Grey Host, the land beyond the city walls has become perilous. The Ard urges everyone to take shelter here in Markarth, while Arana calls them away. Her reckless endeavor will get everyone killed. Peace, yes, of a sort. As long as we stay out of their way, the Grey Host has no quarrel with us. Besides, the walls of Markarth are impregnable. The Reach folk are perfectly safe in here. Now go, find Arana. A favor performed is a favor returned. While I may not have been born and raised in the Reach, I have earned my place as friend and counselor to Ard Kadoc. His subjects call me a keep witch. I assure you, this is a term of the utmost respect among the Reach folk. A genuine desire for peace brought me here. The Reach finds itself beset from all sides. Orcs, Nords, Bretons, Imperials, they all seek the destruction of the Reach folk. I try to serve as a bridge of sorts. Yes, a bridge between the Reach and the civilized world. There's simply no reason that the people of Tamriel should go on killing each other. We have an opportunity to build a kinder, better Tamriel. I'm here to help make that future come to pass.
Over here, before you run off, tell me about your audience with Ard Kaddock. Impressive. You accomplished more in mere moments than I've been able to do since I arrived in this savage land. We'll find a runner, see if the witch rebels will join our cause. I will continue my own investigations and meet you back here.
What do you want?
None of these weak strangers could face a true Reach challenge.
Hold there, outsider. These hills belong to the Reach folk, Rover. Turn around and go back the way you came, or I'll have your nose for a trophy. Witch rebels, huh? That's just a label applied by the oppressors, don't you think? Look, we have enough trouble with those Greyhost bastards and Kaddock's soldiers. We don't need a curious outsider blundering around and getting in our way, too. You're a hunter. Truly. Sounds more like Kaddock and his keep witch getting up to more mischief. You want to befriend the witch rebels? Then prove it. The Greyhost has set up stockpiles nearby. Find out what they're storing, and then we'll talk. The stockpiles were spotted to the east and south. If you can find out what the Greyhost is using them for, then we'll owe you a favor. And true Reach folk never renege on a favor. If I knew for certain, there'd be no need to have you go and take a look, would there? Probably supplies for their army. Though what vampires and werewolves need is anyone's guess. Ritual items, things for their harrowcraft. That's what I expect.
This one taken. Come, Harrier. Give me your measure. Tayfern told me about you, Harrier. You wanted to talk? Well, here I am. What will it be? A battle? I haven't turned anyone into a goat recently, but I'm willing to try if you so much as raise your weapon. Why does everyone insist on calling us that? Tayfern, remind me to come up with a better name when time permits. As for later, well, I guide this gathering of rich folk if that's what you're asking. But what about you? Why are you here? Of course she is. She's a vampire, after all. We tried to slay her twice without much luck. Quick as a spooked hare, that one, and twice as cautious. We'll have her fangs soon enough, though. You can read? What else does that sheet of paper say? The leader? Now that's a worthy bit of news. Bones and birds guide us well, but there's no replacing a cunning hunter. Go to the Barrow, Harrier. Listen in on their meeting. Find out what Belain and her master are up to, and I'll hear you out. The spirits will see you safely to Valthum, Harrier. After that, I suggest stealth and a strong blade. I am, and a fine one at that. What, never met a witch before, Harrier? I'm sure. We're not all like the blood-sucking Belain, or my misguided sisters from Icereach, though. Some of us aren't over-enthusiastic malcontents with a penchant for violence and destruction. Not all the time, anyway. Daedra? Ah, the spirits. The old ones. Yes, I've heard them called that. The world is full of whispers, for those with the patience to hear. Most them bloods are just too busy begging pardons from dead gods to pay attention. Pity. Daedra, spirits, crows, it's all the same. Where you see evil gods, we see teachers. Cruel ones, for certain. But that's the world, right? A stone will kill you if it strikes your head, but lifting the same stone makes us strong.
I thought I smelled an intruder.
Concerned, Rada Alsaran. Haddock hangs on my every word. Pharaoh Markov like a large.
With Markov prepared, we need only Markovs and peace.
Like you, I hate to be disappointed.
You there, in the shadows. You can't hide from the Ashen Lord. Follow me, if you dare. You actually followed. There's fire in your veins, I'll give you that. Very well. You may speak to me. You, the thorn that caused me no small amount of irritation and solitude. You thought yourself so clever, so stealthy, spying on me from the shadows. But the darkness answers to me. Why have you come to this forsaken barrow? You stand before Rada Alsaran and seek to understand his purpose. Better a torchbug try to comprehend the secrets of alchemy, or a mudcrab the intricacies of necromancy. These events began millennia before your birth. They concern you not at all. Who is this we you speak of? Certainly not the Reach folk. No, there is someone else. I see them, lurking in your thoughts. An ally, almost as ancient as I am. They're desperate to forestall the coming night. Tell me, who is this person? And I don't have to resist the urge to rip out your throat and gorge on your blood. But we are civilized beings, exchanging pleasantries in this humble setting. Perhaps we can come to some sort of arrangement. A tip for a tap, as it were. I propose a simple arrangement. A truth for a truth. Ask a question. I will answer honestly, then I will ask a question in turn. A fair compromise, don't you agree? Excellent. Then by all means, ask your first question. I have no interest in conquering the Reach. I came here to make use of something very old, very powerful. The Reach has the misfortune to be located directly above it. Many of these mortals will die, not because I want them to, but because they must. Not when your purpose is worthy. I do what I do for love. My turn. Your ally, are they a high elf? Your honesty does you credit. Thank you. Do you have another question? Lady Belain is an ally of convenience. Her interests and my design are selfish and predictably narrow. Do you seek to supplant her in Kadok's court? I recommend against that, for it will not go well for you. A threat implies only the possibility of punishment. I do not threaten. Belain has Kadok's ear. If he takes your side, she kills him and chaos descends on Markarth. If he stands by Belain, you will be executed. Neither outcome benefits you. Others? Who? Reach folk? The witch Arana? Your mysterious ally? I am unconcerned. Now, for my question. This ally that hides behind your eyes, does he seek to protect the world by going against his own kind? Of course he does. Thank you for your honesty. Now, do you have anything else to ask? That is a complicated question. A being as old as I can claim many origins. This flesh was born on the distant isles of Yokuda. This spirit was forged on the bloody shores of Hammerfell. This purpose, it grew from love and necessity. That word holds little meaning for me now. But yes, in my youth I dedicated my life to perfection. In art, perfection. In love, perfection. In war, especially in war, perfection. To attain glory in Yokuda, nothing less would do. Is it? Beyond the Sea of Pearls, peerless sword masters were as common as grains of sand. Even the grandest victories felt commonplace. In a land of heroes, how can anyone claim to be exceptional? Precisely. After the conquest of Hammerfell, I wandered in search of new challenges. I found only one. Leki, daughter to Rutger and master of the sword. We fought for 3 grueling days, without pause for rest or nourishment. But I didn't win. I didn't lose either. I could not accept a draw, however. The cold reality of my imperfection. That resentment drove me to Molag Bal. It took the patient wisdom of a friend to break perfection's hold on me. Now, your turn. Your ally, are they a vampire? Interesting. A picture begins to emerge. Do you have anything else to ask? As you wish. Know that this level of cordiality will not be repeated. And this is not a threat. If you continue to meddle in my affairs, I will take far more than your life. On that, you have my word.
Unnatural witch storms. Nothing but reach stories, mark my words.
I don't think we're the first to camp here. Lots of fresh tracks.
Come on, filthy tusk.
None of these weak strangers could face a true Reach challenge.
What do you want?
Welcome back, my friend. Tell me what you learned. Your arrival is fortuitous, as I have only just returned myself. Were you able to make contact with the rebels? Did you meet with Arana? I sensed some deception, but her illusion is powerful. How else did she hide her nature from me? As for Arana, do you think we can convince her and her rebels to join our cause? You spoke to Rodda. Did he... No matter. If Rodda al-Siran is here, our time grows short. Talk to Kadak. If he deems what you tell him worthy, maybe he'll finally be willing to work with me. Then we can figure out how to deal with the Grey Host. It was only a matter of time before Rodda and I crossed paths again. I just didn't think it would be this soon. Rodda al-Siran and I... we have a complicated history. There was a time when Rodda and I stood united in purpose, to preserve the lives and welfare of vampires. Then, as now, our kin suffered under Molag Bol's curse, and the cruelty of mortal hunters. Not exactly. At least, not all at once. When I first met Rodda, he was immensely proud but utterly consumed by his failures. He tried to find relief in bloodshed and battle, but he was truly lost. I did my best to help him. Yes, his bloodlust gave way to introspection, and introspection led to study. He was already a peerless scholar. All Onse were, but he became fascinated with vampire texts. Eventually, he found a new purpose. vampiric salvation. And to accomplish this, he needed to break Molag Bol's hold over us and stop mortals from hunting us. I counseled peace with mortals, and for a while he agreed. But things changed, and I left the Grey Host. I thought he died with them. I sought to make the world a better place. I thought the Grey Council could help, but when it became the Grey Host... I formed the Raven Watch as an atonement. For things I failed to do, friends I failed to save. From mortals, and from themselves.
Sentry Bodfer sent word. The Grey Host is...
I'll hear no more of this! Go! I want to talk to the outsider. The outsider returns? But are you a true warrior? Or a parasite like these damned leeches? Did you do as Lady Belain asked? Did you deal with Arana? Tell me you have her head in your pack. I've got a pike on the walls waiting to be decorated. That's not what you are asked to look into. Still, it confirms my own suspicions about my own keep witch. Don't look so surprised. I'm not half as stupid as people think, Rover. Allow. I can count on 3 fingers the number of people I allow in Understone Keep. The rest, they come and go as they please. Let me tell you about the Ember Dance. It's a ceremony we perform here in the Reach. Have you ever heard of it? We grab a handful of hot coals and dance on a bit of straw. Ah, these coals burn, Rover, right to the bone. But if you drop even one, the straw lights, and the flames take all of you to Molag Bal. Do you see? Belain's a hot coal. So I grip her tight. I'm going to sharpen my sword. And wait. If you and the Noble plan to fight the Grey Host, I won't stop you. But remember, Markarth is more than dwarven stones and high walls. It's strength. Make Arana understand that. That's how you can help. Still begging? I should have the tongue ripped from your head and... God damn it, Rover. A favor for a favor, aye. That's the Reach way. All right, tell the Noble. Ard Carrick will see him whenever he's ready. You think I'm foolish to keep Lady Belain close, don't you? It takes a bit of foolishness to rule this place, don't you know? You tell this high elf of yours. I'll see him if he wants.
I've been watching, but Lady Belain hasn't returned to Understone Keep yet. I wonder how the Ard plans to deal with her. Speaking of Ard Kadok, will he meet with me now? Will he help us stop Rada al-Saran and the Grey Host? Well, that's some progress, at least, and farther than I was able to get on my own. Thank you. I'll talk to Kadok, then I'd like to make contact with Arana. We'll need the rebels' help and more if we're going to defeat the Grey Host. Your investigations uncovered that Ard Kadok's advisor, Lady Belaine, is working with the Grey Host, and that she's a vampire. To hide that from me takes great power. Tell me exactly what you heard during Rada al-Saran's conversation with her. With your warning, Ard Kadok can decide what to do with Lady Belaine's advice in the future. As to why they care that Reachfolk gather within the city, I'll need to think about that. Did you hear anything else of significance during their exchange? Rodda tried to use Dwarven devices once, but nothing came of it. Interesting. As I toured the city, I met Nolavan. He works with Dwarven scrap in the southeast section of Markarth. Maybe he can lead us to this keystone before Lady Belaine acquires it. Despite occupying the ruins of their lost civilization, few Reachfolk want anything to do with Dwarven devices. That's why Nolavan intrigued me. While you deal with him, I'll seek out Arana's rebels. If I can't find them, they will surely notice me. And so I shall, briefly. Kadok has a city full of Reachfolk to deal with, so I don't want to unduly distract him. Then I need to locate Arana. If we can get the rebels to work with us against the Grey Host, we'll have more than a fighting chance.